Hello, lovelies. Today I thought I would read some poems from this little poetry book that I was gifted. Christmas Poems, Every Man's Library Pocket Poets. It's a mixture of different poets in here. And I thought I would flip through and read some. I hope you can relax and enjoy some cozy vibes as we look at some Christmas poetry. I haven't read these yet, so some of these poems I'll be reading for the first time with you. The Annunciation. Nothing will ease the pain to come, though now she sits in ecstasy, and lets it have its way with her. The angel's shadow in the room is lightly lifted, as if he had never terrified her there. The furniture again returns to its old simple state. She can take comfort from the things she knows, though in her heart new loving burns. Something she never gave to man or God before, and this God grows. Most like a man, she wonders how to pray at all, what things to give, and to whom to give them to. Alone to all men's eyes I now must go, she thinks, and by myself must live with a strange child that is my own. So from her ecstasy she moves, and turns to human things at last, announcing angels set aside. It is human child she loves, though a God stirs beneath her breast, and great salvation grip her side. Elizabeth Jennings. Advent. Earth grown old, yet still so green, deep beneath her crust of cold, nurses fire unfelt unseen. Earth grown old. Who will live are quickly told, millions more lie hid between inner swathings of her fold. When will fire break up her screen? When will life burst through her mold? Earth, 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 thy cold and keen, earth grown old. Christina Rossetti. Advent Calendar. Bethlehem in Germany. Glitter on the sloping roofs, breadcrumbs on the window sills, candles in the Christmas trees, hearths with pairs of empty shoes, panels of nativity, open paper scenes where doors open into other scenes, some recounted, some foretold, blizzard-sprinkled flakes of gold, gleam from small interiors, picture boxes in the stars, open like cupboard doors in cabinet Jesus built. Southern German villagers, peasants in the mick of frost, see the comet streaming down. Heavenly faces each alone, faces lifted, startled, lost, as if lightning lit the town. Sitting in the upstairs window, patiently the village scholar raises nearsighted face, interrupted by the star. Left and right his hands lie stricken, useless on his heavy book. When I lift the paper door in the ceiling of his study, one canary angel glimmers. Fleeting in the candelabra, peers and quizzes him, Rabbi, what are the spears surmounted by? But his lips are motionless. Child, what are you asking for? Look his gaze past the roofs, gazes where the bitter north stretched across the empty place. Open door by door by door. This is childhood's shrunken door. When I touch the glittering crumbs, when I cry to be admitted, no one answers, no one comes. And the tailor's needle splashes in mid-air with thread pulling tight, stitching a baptismal gown with the gown the seventh door. Turn up an interior, hidden from the tailor's eyes, baby presents like the boxes, angels hold the streets and stairways. Wooden soldier, wooden sword, chocolate coins and crinkled gold, hints of something bought and sold, hints of murder in the stars. Baby's gown and sound with glitter, spread across the tailor's lap. Up above his painted ceiling, baby mouse's skeleton crumbles in the mouse's trap. Leaning from the cliff of heaven, indicating whom he weeps for, Joseph lifts his lamp above, the infant like a candle crown. Let my fingers touch the silence where the infant's father cries. Give me entrance to the village from my childhood, where the doorways open pictures in the skies. But when all the doors are open, no one sees that I've returned. When I cry to be admitted, no one answers, no one comes. Clinging to my fingers only pain, like glitter bits adhering when I touch the shining crumbs. Christmas Eve. Dark is the hour, long the night. Hoarfrost sheds a shimmering light. The wind in the naked woodland cries. A harp-like music the willow sighs. But a marvelous quiet dwells in heaven. Sirius, Markab, the faithful seven, for the old year's sands are well nigh run. This is the birthday of the sun. No glint of dawn, but chandelier in the croning of Christmas vocal clear. In the waxen hive, close wintering, bees the slumberous orison sing. Rouse from their lair in the dales of snow, Lightfoot deer in the procession go. Cattle and sheep in the brine pen kneel in the darkness unseen of men. For the old year's sands are well nigh run. This is the birthday of the sun. Now houses of humans with jargling ring, hot boy and serpent and flute and string, voices and gruff shrill caroling, men and boys hunched up in the cold, tickles the ice of frozen mold. Hesper is shining, rime on thatch, stag-born Nicholas comes unlatch. Children stir in their dream and then drowsily sigh and turn over again. Airs on the morn in the orchard flow, low in the apple boughs mistletoe. For the old year's sands are well nigh run. This is the birthday of the sun. Master and man, the east burns red, drowse no longer in sluggard bed. Garland and Yule logs scattered the wheat, feasts for the starving birds to eat. Mistress and maid, wax warm you shall, boar and oven, burned wine, spiced ale. There's queering in heaven, and Gabriel wings from the zenith his news to tell. Shepherd and king far forth again, peace on earth, God will to men. For loving and lovely in a manger laid, dreams o'er her babe the Virgin made. Kindle then candles for your soul, shake off the neat life's follies bring. Even the innocent death takes toll, there is an end to wandering. But see in the cold cloud the snowdrop blows, spring's exhaustible fountain flows. Love bides in the earth till time is done, the old year sands are well nigh run. This is the birthday of the sun. Walter de la Mare. Christmas Eve. Christmas hath a darkness brighter than the blazing noon. Christmas hath a chillness warmer than the heat of June. Christmas hath a beauty lovelier than the world can show. For Christmas bringeth Jesus, bought for us so low. Earth, strike up your music, birds that sing, bells that ring. Heaven hath answering music for all the angels soon to sing. Earth, put on your whitest bridal robe, spotless snow, for Christmas bringeth Jesus, brought for us so low. Christina Rosaletti. From In Memoriam. The time draws near the birth of Christ. The moon is hid and the night is still. A single church below the hill is pealing, folding in the mist. A single peal of bells below the wakens at this hour's rest. A single murmur in the breast, that these are not the bells I know. Like strangers' voices here they sound, in the lands where not a memory strays. No landmark breeze of other days, but all in new unhallowed ground. Tonight gathered, let us leave this laurel, let this holly stand. We live within the stranger's land, and strangely falls on Christmas Eve. Our Father's dust is left alone, and silent under our snow. There is due time, woodbine blows, the violin comes, but we are gone. No more shall wayward grief abuse the gentle hour with mask and mime, for the change of place, like growth of time, has broken the bond of dying use. Let cares that petty shadows cast, the which our lives are chiefly proved, a little spare the night I loved, and hold it solemn in the past. But let no footsteps beat the floor, nor bowl of wassail mantle warm, for who would keep an ancient form, though which the spirit beneath no more, be neither song nor game nor feast, no harp be touched nor flute be blown, no dance, no motion, save alone what lightens in the lucid feast of rising worlds by yonder wood. Long sleeps the summer in the seed. Run out of your measured ergs, and lead the closing cycle rich in good. Alfred Lord Tennyson. Noel Christmas Eve, 1913. A frosty Christmas Eve, when the stars were shining, fared I forth alone, where westward falls the hills, and from many a village, in the water's valley, distant music reached me, peals of bells arguing the constilled sounds, rain sprinkling on the earth's floors, as the dark vault above me with stars was spangled o'er. Then sped by thought to keep the Christmas of all, when the shepherds watching by their folds ere the dawn heard music in the fields, and marveling could not tell whether it was angels or the brightest stars singing. Now blessed be the towers, the crowns England so far, that stand up stronger in prayer unto God for our souls. Blessed be their founders, said I, our country folk, who are ringing for Christ in the balefairs tonight, who are arms lifted to clutch the rattling ropes, the race into the dark above, and the mad romping den. But to me, heard afar, it was starry music, angel song, comforting at the comfort of Christ, when he spake tenderly in his sorrowful flock, though old worlds came to me by the riches of time, mellowed and transfigured, as I stood on the hill, harking the aspect of eternal silence. Robert Bridges. The oxen. Christmas Eve and 12 o'clock. Now they are on their knees, an elder said as we sat in flock by the embers in the hearthside ease. We pictured the meek, mild creatures where they dwelt in their straw pens, nor did it occur to one of us there to doubt they were kneeling then. So fair a fancy few would weave in these years, yet I feel, if someone said on Christmas Eve, "Come, see the oxen kneel in the lonely barn by yonder combe our childhood used to know," I should go with him in gloom, hoping it might be so soon. Hoping it might be so. Thomas Hardy. A visit from St. Nicholas. 'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled, all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads, and Mamma in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled our brains for a long winter's nap, when out on the lawn there rose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters, and threw up the sash. To the moon on the breast of the new-fallen snow gave a lustrous of midday to objects below, when what to my wondering eyes did appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer. With a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment he must be Saint Nick. More rapid than eagles his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, and Donder and Blitzen. To the top of the porch, to the top of the wall, now dash away, dash away, dash away all. As leaves that before and wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle, mount to the sky, so up to the house top The coursers they flew, with the sleigh full of toys, and St. Nicholas too. And then in a twinkling I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes how they twinkled, his dimples how merry, his cheeks were like roses, and his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth and was drawn up like a bow, and his beard on his chin was as white as the snow. The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke it encircled his head with a wreath. He had a broad face and a round little belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk, and laying his finger aside of his nose, and giving a nod, up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, and to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim, ere he drove out of sight, "Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night." I meant more. Upon his Christ birth, strange news a city full, with none give way to lodge a guest that comes not every day. No inn nor tavern void, yet I discree one empty place alone where we may lie. In too much fullness, in some want but where, men's empty hearts let's ask for lodging there. But if they not admit us, then we'll stay. Their hearts as well as inns are made of clay. Sir John Suckling. Let's see. Christmas. A child is born, they cry a child, and he is noble, not mild. It's the child that makes them wild. The king sits brooding on his throne. He looks around and calls a man. My men bring me a heavy stone. My men bring me a purple robe, and bring me whips and iron goad. They brought them to him where he strode. My men bring gold and bring incense, and fetch all the noble children at once, that I shall never take offense. The men fetched the noble children away. They lifted them up and cried hooray. The king sat back and clapped their play. All noble, mild children are brought home to the wicked king who has cast them down and ground their bones on the heavy stone. But the child that is noble and not mild, he lies in his cot. He is unbeguiled, he is noble, he is not mild, and he is born to make men wild. Mother of God, therefore terror of love, a fallen flare through the follow of air, wings beating about the room, the terrors of all terrors that I bore, the heavens in my womb. Had I not found content among the shows every common woman knows, chimney corner, garden walk, on rocky cistern wind tried the close, and gather all the talk. What is this flesh I purchase with pains? This fallen star my milk sustains, this love that makes my heart blood stop, or strikes a sudden chill into my bones, and bids my hair to stand up. It's different sections of the book, so I'm just kind of picking and choosing some of them. Like I said, I haven't read it yet, so I'll go back through and read all of them. Christmas at Sea. The sheets were frozen hard, and they cut the naked hand. The decks were like a slide where a seaman scarce could stand. The wind was nor a rester, blowing squally off the sea, and the cliffs were spouting breakers where only things a lee. They heard the surf a-roaring before the break of day, but 'twas only with the peep of light we saw how ill we lay. We tumbled every hand on deck and stunter with a shout, and we gave the man-tops I stood by go about. All day we tacked and tacked between the south head and the north. All day we hauled the frozen sheets and got no further forth. All day as cold as charity, in bitter pain and dread, for very life and nature was tacked from head to head. We gave the south a wider berth, for there the tide race roared, but every tack was made brought the north head close abroad. So we saw the cliffs and houses and breakers running high, the coast guard in his garden with his glass against his eye. The frost was on the village roofs, as white as ocean foam. The good red fires were burning bright in every longshore home. The windows sparked clear and the chimneys volleyed out, and I vow we sniffled in victuals as the vessel went about. The bells upon the church were rung with a mighty jovial cheer, for it's just that I should tell you how, of all in the year, this day of our adversary was blessed Christmas morn, and the house above the coast guard was the house where I was born. Oh well I saw the pleasant room, the pleasant faces there, my mother's silver spectacles, my father's silver hair, and well I saw the firelight let a flight of homey elves go dancing round the china plates that stand upon the shelves. And well I know the talk they had, the talk was of me, of the shadow of the household and the son that went to sea. And oh, the wicked fool I seemed in every kind of way to be here hauling frozen ropes and blessed Christmas Day. They lit the high sea light, and the dark began to fall. All hands loose, topgallant sails, I heard the captain call. By the Lord shall never stand it, our first mate Jackson cried. It's one way to the other, Mr. Action, he replied. She staggered to her bearings, but the sails were new and good, and the ship smelt up windward, just as though she understood. As the winter's day was ending in the entry of the night, we cleared the weary headland and passed below the light, and they heaved a mighty breath, every soul on board but me, as they saw her nose again pointing handsome out to sea. But all that I could think of in the darkness and the cold was that I was leaving home and my folks were growing old. Robert Louis Stevenson. Our Christmas tree. Our Christmas tree is not electrified, is not covered with little lights calling attention to themselves. We have had enough of little lights calling attention. Our tree is a cedar cut here, one of the fragrances of our place, hung with painted cones and paper stars folded long ago to praise our tree. Christ come into the world. A carol? On a hush, oh hush thee, my baby, thy cradle's in pawn, no blankets to cover thee, cold and forlorn. The stars in the bright sky look down and are dumb at their heir of ages asleep in a slum. Hooters are blowing, no heed let him take. When a baby is hungry, 'tis best not to wake. Thy mother is crying, thy dad's on the dole, 2 shillings a week, the price of a soul. Let's find one last one. There's a couple small ones. A carol, warmth of cows that chewed on hay, a cherub protected him, a small he lay. Chickens and sheep knew he was there, because all night a holy light suffused the air. Darkness was long and sun brief, while the child arose, a man of sorrows, a friend to grief. This sounds like the song Silent Night. Silent night, holy night, All is calm, all is bright. Round yon virgin, mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Silent night, holy night, shepherds quake at the sight. Glory streams from heaven afar, heavenly hosts sing Alleluia. Christ the Savior is born. Silent night, holy night, Son of God, love's pure light, radiant beams from the holy face, with the dawn of redeeming grace. Jesus Lord, at thy birth. Holly and the ivy. The holly and the ivy, when they are both full grown, of all the trees that are in the wood, the holly bears the crown. The rising of the sun and the running of the deer, the playing of the merry organ, sweet singing in the choir. The holly bears a blossom, as white as the lily flower, as Mary bore sweet Jesus Christ to be our sweet Savior. The holly bears a berry, a red as any blood, and Mary bore sweet Jesus Christ to do poor sinners good. The holly bears a prickle, as sharp as any thorn, and Mary bore sweet Jesus Christ on Christmas day and mourned. The holly bears bark, as bitter as any gall, and Mary bore sweet Jesus Christ for to redeem us all. The holly and the ivy, for they are both full grown, of all the trees that are in the wood, and the holly bears the crown. The rising of the sun, the running of the deer, the playing of the merry organ, sweet singing in the choir. 12 days of Christmas. The last part, it looks like. The 12th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 12 lords a-leaping, 11 ladies dancing, 10 pipers piping, 9 drummers drumming, 8 maids a-milking, 7 swans a-swimming, 6 geese a-laying, 5 golden rings, 4 collie birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. I hope you enjoyed some random Christmas poetry. I just kind of flipped through it and read some random ones, so I hope you were able to rest. Merry Christmas. Sleep well.